Hello guys, thank you for tuning in to my channel. This is Anthony once again, and I do take this opportunity to welcome you back to my channel, guys. It's been a while, but I'm back to producing the videos. So thank you for tuning in. So as we usually do, let's just begin with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, I come before you this day. I thank you for each one of us who is a partaker of this session. May you give us enlightenment and understanding in whatever we are going to learn. In Jesus' mighty name I pray and believe. Amen. So guys, thank you again for taking this opportunity to tune in this wonderful day. And for those who've been watching, I take the chance and the opportunity to thank you again for supporting the channel. Now, it's been a while since I recorded, but I'm back. And I do hope that we are going to grow further in whatever we've been learning. Yeah, and I do hope that whatever we shall learn shall be of benefit. So today I'd like us to talk about a very important topic when it comes to spirituality and in relation especially to our lives, about this thing called having dominion. Okay, so today I'd like us to talk about having dominion, and I'd like us to go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. Yeah, Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, then we can begin from there. So Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created man in his own image, in the image of God he created him, male and female he created them." So 28, God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Okay, so other versions talk about God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply." Okay, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion. So today I want us to focus on the dominion part. So we're going to see the verse talking about have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Okay, so that is the basis of my teaching today. Having dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the creatures that move upon the ground. Okay, so we are going to delve deeper to understand dominion from a spiritual perspective. Okay, so you have learned about this, you have read these verses before, but today let me just try and give you a different perspective to understanding what dominion means. Okay, and why is it important for us to have dominion? So for every person that God creates in this world, we should understand the reason why we were created. I know many of you have been taught you were created to worship God and all that, and it's partly true but not true, because if God created you to worship Him, it means you are worshiping, okay, not out of your own volition, but because you are forced to worship. And we know that God is not a dictator. God does not deal with robots. We have been given free will. So when God was creating Adam in Genesis, the main purpose of Adam was to be like God on earth. So that is why Adam was created in the image and likeness of God. Why the image and likeness? Because the image simply refers to, okay, the character of God. So if God is love, Adam was expected to present attributes of love to showcase the attributes of God pertaining to certain things such as kindness and love and all that. So that's now Adam made in the image and likeness. Likeness exemplify the attributes of God that are intrinsically hidden in Him. So these are attributes such as He is a creating God. So that is why with our words, with our thoughts, we are able to create reality. So in a nutshell, when God was creating Adam, God was just replicating Himself on earth so that He could sit back and observe Himself through Adam doing the things that He Himself as God does. So that would be the pattern for each and every man that is created and comes to dwell on this earth. So when God talks about dominion, we have to understand one thing. For you to exercise your authority on this earth, for you to become the person that God created you to be on this earth, you have to have exercisable authority over the factors that were placed on this earth, okay, to give you the results that you intend to have in any field that you are placed to influence. I hope I've not lost you. So every person was created to operate within a specific sphere of influence. It could be in entertainment, in medicine, in politics, in you name it. So within the sphere that you are created to operate in, there are certain factors that determine your influence within that sphere. And so the thing that exercises authority over these factors that influence your sphere of operation, this is what we call dominion. And therefore, dominion is the exercisable authority, okay, over the factors that control the sphere of influence that God created you to operate in. So let's say you're created to be a doctor. Your sphere of influence is in the medical world. So there are factors that affect your progression within that sphere. And so for you to exercise your authority over those factors, you need to have something called dominion. So when you talk about dominion, it means you have the utmost exercisable authority over a specific sphere that God created you to operate in. So whoever has the utmost exercisable authority within a specific sphere of influence becomes dominant within that sphere. So when you talk about tech, we talk about someone like Elon Musk. So it means Elon Musk has exercised his dominion in the tech world, okay? And it goes so, when you look at politics, we see people like Trump and the presidents and all these leaders, they have exercised their dominion in the political world. And so it is distinctly unique for every person in every area of operation that God has created you to function in. And now Adam is being created and is being put to purpose because God created Adam to be a king and to function as a God on this earth. So for you to function as a God, you need to have dominion, so that when you exercise dominion, okay, you have rulership over the sphere of influence that God has placed you to rule over. And God is introducing an interesting perspective that there are three things that we need to have dominion over for us to be effective in our assignments. And these are the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and the beasts of of the field. Okay, I will explain why and how. So these are very important when we want to be functional in our places of influence, okay, especially when you're looking at it from a spiritual dimension. So okay, let me go back a bit so that I can pick you up and then we can go together. If you've watched my videos before, I've talked about dimensions. Okay, there's what you call realms, and then there's what we call dimension. So there are 3 dimensions, okay, that man has been given authority to function in. There's what we call the water, and then the air, and then the land or the earth. So man functions or operates in these 3 categories of influence: the water, the air, and the land. So we need to understand this concept for us to understand how the earth functions. There is land, water, air physically. Okay? Anything that is physical has a spiritual alternate to it. So because there is land and water and air, spiritually also there is land and water and air. We need to get this, please. There is the sea that you see with your eyes, there is the earth that you see with your eyes, and then there is the air that you interact with on a daily basis. But then spiritually also there is the counterparts of these things. Okay? And as I have mentioned before in my videos, Adam in the Garden of Eden is a spiritual location. So Adam was operating in the garden, okay, from his soul. So we know that his soul is not tangible, but is spiritual in nature. So you have a spirit which is spiritual in nature, and you have a soul which is spiritual also in nature. Because if I tell you, give me your soul, you can't say this is it, take. No, your soul is your mind, your will, your mind, which is your intellect, your will, and your emotions. These are not tangible things. These are things that are abstract. So if Adam was operating in the soul or in the soulish realm while in the Garden of Eden, and is being told to have dominion over the birds of the air or the fowl of the air, and then have dominion over the fish of the sea, and then have dominion over the beasts of the land. Okay, so these are not physical entities that is being given dominion over, because the instructions are going to Adam, the soul of Adam. Okay, because in the Garden of Eden, this is a spiritual location. We need to understand this. That's why it was being guarded by angels, the cherubim. Okay, so if this garden is a spiritual location, because we know that God is a spirit, and for God to interact with them, it means that was a spiritual location. That is why God used to come and visit during the day. So these instructions for having dominion over the fish, the fowl of the air, and the beast of the field are not being given to a physical plane for Adam to have control over. This is a spiritual dimension of the physical reality. So Adam is being told, have dominion over the spiritual aspect of the air, of the fowl of the air. Have authority or have dominion over the spiritual dimension of the sea or the water. Have dominion over the spiritual dimension of the land or the beast of the field. So we need to understand again one thing. When God is telling Adam to have dominion, if you are keen, He's not telling him to have dominion over the air, over the sea, and over the land. He's telling him to have dominion over the fish, over the fowl, and over the beasts of the field. So you need to ask yourself, if man interacts in these spheres, why is God telling him to have dominion over the fish? Why not have dominion over the sea? Why is it have dominion over the fish of the sea and the fowl of the air? Okay? And then the beast of the field. Because Adam was a ruler. And we understand that when you are a king, you are seated on the throne, you have dominion over the sphere of influence that you are governing over. Okay? So for example, I am a president of country X. So this specific country that I have dominion over, when I say I am ruling over this country, I am having dominion. Who exactly are you having dominion over? Is it the physical boundaries of that country, or is it the inhabitants who inhabit the country? Because if you are ruling over the land minus the inhabitants, then there's nothing you're doing. You have no influence. You are only having influence or dominance, or you have dominion when you are in control of the inhabitants of the specific sphere of governance that has been given to you. So if I am a president of a country X, I can only say I have exercised dominion when I rule over the people that inhabit the land. I hope you're getting me. There's somewhere I'm going. Why is that important? Because it is the people that inhabit this land, okay, that influence what happens within that specific sphere, that country. So if I rule over the country minus the people, then I'm not in control, because the people can decide to do anything over the country, and so will it be. But if I am ruling over the people, then I'm able to control their actions, which now translate into what is being done within that specific country. So if I rule over the people, I can dictate their actions, and therefore that translates to their output. So I can tell these people, do specific thing A or do this thing B within this land to get this result. So if I rule over certain people, I am able to direct them to engage in a productive activity, say activity A, for them to get a result. Okay? I can help them, I can lead them to build hospitals and schools and everything of the sort. Why? Because I have dominion over the people. So when Adam is being told to have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the beast of the field, these are the inhabitants of these three planes. Of these three planes. Okay? The planes are the dimensions that I told you. The dimension of water, the dimension of air, and the dimension of land. So if I am ruling over the inhabitants of land, and the inhabitants of the sea, and the inhabitants of the air, then I am ruling over that plane. If I am, okay, again I'll repeat this so that you don't miss it. If I am ruling over a country, let's say Kenya, I can only say I am in control of that country if I am ruling over the people. Because if I am ruling over the people of Kenya, I am able to dictate what activities they can do to make that land productive. Okay? So if Adam is supposed to rule over these three planes, land, air, and water, he is therefore, okay, expressively given authority over the inhabitants of those three planes. And in the water, the fish are the inhabitants. In the air, the fowl of the air are the inhabitants. In the land, the beast of the field are the inhabitants. Okay? So that is understood. I hope we're not getting lost. So I have said this, that Adam was not being told to rule over the physical dimension of the earth, the sea, and the air. He was given dominion over the spiritual counterparts of these planes. because these instructions were being given to him from Eden, and Eden is a spiritual location. So if you haven't watched, I can't remember the video that I did, but Eden was a spiritual location. It was like a control tower. Okay, so from this control tower, whatever Adam would instruct or do, okay, it had a resultant impact on the physical world. Okay, so if Adam wanted to see something happen on this earth, the instructions, okay, were done in Eden. Okay, I hope you're not losing me. So if Adam wanted something to happen on this physical earth, the simulation was done in Eden, the spiritual place. Okay, so Eden was more of a control tower from where Adam would rule and have dominion. Because, as I usually say, everything that is physical begins spiritually. So if you want to affect the physical, you have to doctor it spiritually. So Adam was given Eden as a spiritual place of operation so that he could affect the outcomes of the physical world. So when he's being told to have dominion over the fish, the fowl, and the beast, these are the inhabitants that dwell within these three planes. But remember, these planes are spiritual. So meaning, if Adam can control the fowl of the air, he can dictate what happens in the physical atmosphere on earth. If Adam can control the fishes of the sea, he can dictate what happens, okay, in this physical sea. If Adam can control the beast of the field, he can dictate what happens in this physical earth. I hope I'm not losing you. So, that aside, let me give you another thing that I had mentioned a while back. If you had watched my video on the earth being alive, I mentioned that man as a creature, when you take your body is made up of the earth. That is where you go back to dust. You are made up of 70% water. Okay? Then your spirit was inputted in you through the breath of God. That is why you can breathe. Okay? And God breathed into man. That is why you have air. You can breathe. So these three planes that Adam was told to have dominion over, which is land, water, and air, you now see that our bodies are made up of those three planes. Okay? Land, we have water in our blood, then we have air, the one we breathe. Okay? So this environment that we are in, we are intrinsically connected to it spiritually, because every element that exists in this environment is in us. There is air, we have air. There is the dust, we have the dust. There is water, we have water. And now again, I want to bring in now this perspective. Remember, we constitute these things in the physical dimension. Adam was given dominion over them in the spiritual dimension. Okay? I hope you're getting it. So, when God was telling Adam to have dominion, it's because if I want a certain result to occur in this earth, and I have the understanding that everything begins spiritually, so whatever Adam was supposed to do was exercise his dominion, okay, over the beast of the field in the spiritual dimension. Then that would translate to a resultant action in the physical one. If he wanted something to occur within the realm of the water or the dimension of the water, he would exercise his dominion over the fishes of the sea in the spiritual dimension that would now be translated to the physical. If he wanted to exercise something within this realm of the air, he would exercise it with the fowl of the air in the spiritual dimension, which would be translated now to the physical, because everything that is physical begins spiritually. So the Garden of Eden was that control tower, was the spiritual control tower that Adam was given to control the affairs of the earth, the physical earth. So when he wanted to control the physical earth, he went and operated from the spiritual dimension. I'm going somewhere with this. So when the devil wanted to, or what the devil did, he made Adam sin. And we need to understand that Adam did not originate sin. Sin originated in heaven, because the devil was the first one to sin. Okay, that's why he was thrown from heaven. So the origin of sin was not the earth, it was heaven. And he was thrown outside of heaven so as not to corrupt heaven. Okay, so when the devil saw Adam has been given dominion over this earth, over the waters, and over the air, and he's operating in the spiritual dimension, what he did is he tricked Adam and Eve, and they sinned. They disobeyed God. Okay, sin is basically disobedience to God. So when they disobeyed God, they introduced sin into that spiritual realm, which is called the Garden of Eden. Okay, that is what we call the fall of man. So before them sinning, that spiritual location, that garden, it had no access to sin. So it was pure, it was functioning the way it was supposed to function. So when the devil tricked them and spiritually made them to falter, and sin was introduced into that realm, what happened? There was a corruption. Okay, there was a corruption of the order in which God had created that realm to function, the realm of the Garden of Eden. Okay, because sin was introduced. Sin. Okay, let me give you an example. Sin is like a Trojan virus. When you introduce a Trojan virus or any virus to your computer or your PC device or your laptop, it messes up your applications and your softwares. Okay, so you find that you cannot, when you try to click, it does not respond. When you click, files are multiplied, and so there's just a haphazardness of the way the whole system operates, because a virus has been introduced into the system. So that is what sin did. When sin was introduced to that controlled environment, which we call the Garden of Eden, the spiritual location, what happened is it's like a Trojan virus had interrupted and interfered with the functioning of that realm. Okay, so Adam, who was given dominion over these three things, the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and the beast of the field, now the devil reversed it. Okay, the devil reverse engineered the functioning. He reverse engineered it. Why? Because Adam was the one on the throne, and then this fish and what the fish and the fowl and the beast were below him. So Adam was the one on the throne, then these things were below him. Then when the devil now interfered with the functioning of that, he caused Adam, okay, to be thrown out of the garden. I hope you're getting me. So you remember the garden, it's a spiritual location. So there is a dimension of the spiritual realm of air, there is a dimension of the spiritual waters, there is a dimension of the spiritual earth there. So, and that dimension is superior to this physical one that we now inhabit. because what happens there dictates what happens here. So when Adam sinned and the roles were reversed, therefore Adam was thrown from that garden, which is a higher dimension, and then he was thrown to the earth, which is a lower dimension. Okay, so to be clear, that place was like a control tower for earth, which existed in a spiritual location. So when Adam fell, God threw him out, okay, because he had lost his position. Therefore, he was thrown into a lower realm, which is called earth. Therefore, the realm that he governed over became now the realm that he dwelt in. Okay? And you remember, he has left the fowl of the air, the beast of the field, and the fishes of the sea, okay, in that realm. The ones that exist now in the spiritual dimension of the physical ones that we have on earth. So he used to rule over those ones to affect what happens in this physical realm. Now he has made a mistake. He has been ejected from that higher place, the spiritual dimension. He has been thrown into the physical one, which we now inhabit. So because things that are physical are controlled spiritually before they manifest physically, it means Adam has now been transitioned from a creature that operates from his soul primarily to now a creature that operates from his flesh. I hope I'm not losing you. Okay. I will give you an example for you to have a better understanding of how Adam operated. So, while in the garden, the soul of Adam was the outermost layer of him. Okay? So Adam operated in his soul. When he fell and sin introduced or was introduced to that realm, there was a corruption of the order of how God created him. And his soul came now in the inside and his body came on the outside. Okay? Because he had a physical body, but it was not useful there. What he used there was his soul. So his soul was the outermost and then his body was the innermost. So when corruption happened through sin, his soul came back inside and then his body came outside. That is the easiest thing I can give you to understand what happened in a nutshell. So when sin happened, it corrupted the order in which Adam was created even to function. So now the soul came inside and then the physical body went outside. And because he had God had not given him a body to dwell on earth, when you look at, let me just look at my Bible very fast so that I can give you the verse. Okay, so Genesis 3 verse 21. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. Okay, the Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and Eve and clothed them. Before Adam was chased from the garden, the physical body was now at the outermost part and his soul had retreated inside. Before that, the physical body was in the inside and the soul was outside because he was operating from his soul, his soulish realm. So when that reverse thing happened, he still had no body, or the body that he had was not created for him to operate in this realm, because God's idea was that he was to operate from Eden, then control everything from Eden so that it can manifest on earth. Okay, he was not supposed to leave the garden. But when he did, or he committed the sin, God had no other option than to chase him outside. And so for God to chase him outside the garden, he had to give him the skin or the clothing compatible for this world. That is why the Bible says God made a garment of skin. Okay, most of you, what you have been preached to is that God took a sheep or an animal and then he slaughtered it and then he clothed them. When the Bible talks about them having fig leaves, or it does not mean what you think it means. When the Bible says God clothed them with skin, it basically means God gave them this skin for this world, because they were transitioning from a spiritual dimension into a physical one. So they needed the correct and appropriate covering for this environment. So he gave them this skin for them now to exist in this realm. Okay, so now Adam and Eve were sent or thrown down to a lower realm. So imagine you are controlling the things that happen in this realm from the higher plane, which is the Garden of Eden, which is a spiritual location. Now you are the one in this realm, which is a lower realm, because this lower realm was meant for animals, the physical animals on this earth. Okay, and that is why you find that animals are more sensitive than you. Animals are more sharper than you. That is why the dog has a very strong sense. That is why you just find animals are sharper than man. Why? How can a vulture smell dead meat from 1,000 miles? Okay, why are animals more sharper? How do animals have that vision to see very far? How do cats see at night? Because this is their realm. They were created to operate in this physical world, not man. That is why man faces difficulty in this world, because this was not our original realm of dwelling. Okay, this was a place of punishment. That is why man was made to toil. This is our place of punishment. So I'm going somewhere with this. So now man has fallen, is operating in a lower realm. Okay, remember the three planes: the water, the air, and the land. Okay, our body constitutes of all those things. Okay, this, and then your blood made of water, and then you breathing air. So the devil now devised a way in which, because Adam ceded the authority to the devil. Okay, he was tricked by the devil. So when he left his place, or when he was chased out of that place of authority, the devil took charge of that. And if you understand how the rulership of the kingdom works, whoever sits on the position of authority gives decrees to whoever is below. So you cannot refuse to take orders, because every person who operates under a certain throne, you take orders from the one who sits on that throne. Okay, a police officer has to respect the command of a president of a particular country, regardless of who it is that sits on the throne, on that presidency. When you take the oath, you take the oath in respect to that position, not the person who sits there. So regardless of the person, your oath as an officer, as the army, is to that place of authority or that seat of authority. So when the devil now took charge of that place, he now had control over the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and the beast of the field in their spiritual dimension. Okay, I'll tell you why this is important. So now it means the devil could now manipulate the things that occur in this physical realm, because he controls the spiritual. And because our bodies are made up of the same exact elements that are there, okay, there was a reverse engineering in which now the devil had access to our physical nature. Okay? Because he controls the fish of the sea. Okay? Do we have water in us? Yes. He controls the fowl of the air. Do we have air in us? Yes. He controls the beast of the field. Are we made up of the material that makes earth, which is dust? Yes. And remember, that is the spiritual dimension. Okay? How is this important? Because spiritually, the fish of the sea are able to inhabit any place where there is water. The fowl of the air are able to inhabit any place where there is air. The beasts of the field are able to inhabit any place where there is land. So now he's in charge of the creatures that inhabit those three realms, and our body is made up of the elements of those realms. So here is whereby we now find discussions like marine spirits. You've ever heard of marine spirits? Fowl spirits. Okay? So these are spiritual entities that dwell in the spiritual dimensions or the three planes of what we have on the physical earth. So let me explain to you in a nutshell. Marine spirits are the fishes of the sea that dwell in the spiritual dimension that Adam used to control, but now the devil controls. They are what we call fowl spirits, the spirits of the air. They dwell in the dimension of the air from the spiritual realm in which Adam used to control. And then there is what we call the beast of the field. They dwell in the spiritual dimension of the earth that Adam used to control, that the devil took charge. So when you hear of marine spirits, these are spirits that are controlling the realm of the water. These are the fishes of the sea. And because they can access the realm of water from the spiritual realm, and you have water in you, therefore marine spirits have access to your body. Because the same elements that exist in the spiritual realm exist in your body. The fowl of the air that exists in the spiritual realm can have access to you because you have air in you. In your brain there is air. Okay? The beast of the field that exists in the spiritual realm can have access to your body. Okay, I have taken you slowly until this point so that you can understand why having dominion is important. So because the devil now took charge of those three planes and the animals that dwell in them, he has now control over every dimension of those realms in this physical plane. So anywhere there is water, the devil can use the marine spirits to affect the physical water that we have. Anywhere there is the earth, the devil can use the beast of the field to affect the physical earth. Anywhere there is air, the devil can use the spiritual dimension of it to affect the physical. How is that important? You have water in you. There is water in the spiritual realm. The marine spirits that operate there are now under the control of the devil. So when the devil wants to afflict you, when the devil wants to play with your emotions, what does he do? He uses the marine spirits. So why do people struggle with lust? Because of marine spirits. Why do people have issues of anger? Marine spirits. Why do people have issue of envy, jealousy, pride? Marine spirits. Why? Because marine control the dimension of water. And what is water? Water affects your emotions. Okay? So anytime you are emotional, this is connected to the water that is in you. I hope you're getting me. Your emotions are affected by the marine. The marine dwell in water. In you, there is water. In the spiritual realm, there is water. That water in the spiritual realm is what Adam used to have dominion over. But then he fell, and then the devil took over, and then everything was reverse engineered. It was reverse engineered so that now he is in charge over the fish of the sea. Therefore, he can control the activities of the waters, which are also in you. Therefore, he can manipulate your emotions. That is why you find any town, any city that is close to water bodies, there is a high rate of sexual immorality. Look at any place where there are beaches, there are water parks and all these things. There is a high rate of sexual immorality, how people dress, all these things. Why? Because of the marine spirits. And they control your emotions. So what causes people to be immoral? Lust. How do you control lust? Emotions. Where do emotions come from? The water in you. Who controls the water? The marine spirits. Who has taken dominion over them? The devil. You now understand the progression. Let's go to another dimension. The fowl of the air. The fowl of the air control the dimension of the air. So you breathe air. In your mind, in your brain, there is air. Okay? What do the fowls of the air what do the fowls of the air? There is a verse I'm trying to remember. I'll put it here. It talks about something that there is a path that the fowl knoweth. There is a path that the fowl knoweth. There is a path that the fowl of the air do not know. There is a path that the fowl does not know. I'll put it here so that you can, because spiritually, thoughts, okay? Thoughts are given by the fowl of the air. Thoughts, okay? If I want to affect your thoughts, I will not use the marine spirits. It is the fowl of the air, because there is air in your brain. So they are able to manipulate that and access it from the spiritual realm and channel thoughts into you. They channel thoughts into you. Okay? So if the devil is able to control the fowl of the air in the spiritual realm, then he's able to influence the kind of thoughts that you receive. So if he's able to control the fowl of the air, he's able to control how people think. And when you go to a society and you find that there are certain places that certain people are manipulated in their mind, they are not able to think, or all people think a certain way. How is that possible? Because the spiritual atmosphere that those people are operating under, okay, is being governed by the fowl of the air that are controlled by the devil. So he's able to manipulate the thoughts. That is why the Bible tells us that the minds, I can't remember the verse correctly, but I'll put here the accurate, but it talks about the prince of the power of the air has manipulated the minds of the children of this age, because he has blinded their minds with darkness. What does that mean? The creatures that operate within the air are the fowl of the air. So if I want to control the minds of men, I just have to control the spiritual fowl of the air, which in turn will now influence the kind of thoughts that people have. That is why you find people cannot receive the gospel of Christ. Why? The spiritual atmosphere is controlled by the fowl of the air. Okay? which are under the control of the devil because people have become ignorant. So the fowl of the air influence how you think. And I can give you an example. You can just be here watching your thing, and then suddenly a thought just comes. Why don't I just go and steal? Or have you ever just sat somewhere and then a contrary thought comes, and you know this thought was not in my head. Where did it come from? It is a fowl. There is the fowl of the air that has been sent to give you that thought. Okay? And then the last one is the beast of the field. The beast of the field, you know, when you think about the beast, when you think about something like a buffalo, an elephant, these are animals of might. Okay, there's that hardness, there's the grit. So if I am able, or if the devil now is controlling the beast of the field from the spiritual realm, it means he's controlling the might in you. Okay, what is the might? The will, your ability to make choices. Have you ever found people who are very stubborn in certain things they believe in? Like, this person is clearly wrong, is clearly losing it, but they are so adamant about a specific thing. Okay, I cannot change this. This is how it is done. This is how it has always been done. This is how we do it. Why are they with that hardness, that grit in refusing to budge? It is because there is a beast of the field spiritually that is in him. There is a spirit that is in him, okay, from the beast of the field that have now influenced the will of that person. I hope you're getting me. So you will find that because this beast of the field, they also influence, they are connected to the earth. Remember, there's a verse that says the earth directs your footsteps. Okay, the earth directs your footsteps. Or there was a prayer that someone was praying to, Lord, direct the footsteps or something. So this earth can direct your footsteps. The earth can dictate the people you interact with, whether it is the right doors or the wrong doors. This is why you'll find some people, they always end up in the wrong marriages, wrong relationships, wrong jobs, wrong this. Everywhere they walk to is just a wrong places. What is dictating the steps that they are taking? It's the beast of the field. So the devil is using this beast of the field to manipulate the direction that this person, or the decisions that this person is making in their life. Okay? And so with all this understanding, why is this important? Remember, your soul is made up of your mind, your will, your emotions. Okay? Your mind is influenced by your thoughts. Your thoughts are influenced by the fowl of the air. Your emotions are influenced by the water that is in you. The water in you is influenced by the fishes of the sea, or the marine spirit. Okay? And then there is the will. The will is your ability to make decisions. That is influenced by the beast of the field. Why? Because there is something called the spirit of might. When you see someone who does not want to drink, but they always end up in a bar and they can't even understand. You've heard people talking about, I didn't want to do this, I don't know even how I found myself here, but they still went there. What is directing their footsteps? It is the earth. So the earth is controlling their will. So the beast of the field is manipulating the will of that person. So these three planes, which is the land, the water, and the air, they control the three aspects of your soul: your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay? So because Adam fell, and he lost his position, the devil took advantage because of the corruption that happened, and then he went and took that authority, place of authority. That's why the Bible calls him the God of this world. Okay, he took that authority and now controls the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and the beast of the field. And these three inhabitants are what influence what happens in these three realms. And so whoever controls these three planes controls the functioning of a man. Whoever controls these three planes spiritually controls how men function. That is why you need to have dominion. And what is dominion? Taking your authority, going back to that place in Eden, and then controlling these fish, the fowl, and the beast of the field. Because if you don't control them spiritually, then you will be controlled. When you see people having influence over other men, when you see people having influence and controlling other men, it means spiritually they have risen to their place of authority, and they have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and the beast of the field. That is how they control the emotions of other people, and the thinking of other people, and the decisions of other people. So for you to have influence over men, you need to have the authority. That is why Adam was told, have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and the beast of the field. It was just not random, and it's not the physical fish that you see in the ocean. No, these are the spiritual dimension or entities that now have an effect on the physical world. Okay, I don't know how I reached there, but I was talking about dominion, and I have diverged a lot. So I'll record the second part so that we can finish on this dominion part, because it also has to do with something called sonship. Okay, because our aim in the New Testament is to become sons, and you cannot become a son if you don't have dominion, and you cannot have dominion if you're not ruling over the fish, the fowl, and the beast of the field. Okay, so I do hope I'll be able to finish this video in the next, or this series about dominion in the next episode. Then probably it can help someone get a grip and an understanding of how spiritual things work. Okay, so guys, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You can like, share, and subscribe to it, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.